Thanks for joining us again this week on Into the Mystic Sailing. We're at Jim King Park at Sisters Creek in Jacksonville, Florida. What you're seeing here is the Atlantic Boulevard Twin Bridge. The current against us was so strong when we hit this mark right here, our speed was down to about a knot and a half. It felt like we absolutely weren't even moving. But we eventually make it through. We're pushing on. We only have about 34 miles to go before we get into St. Augustine. We're going to be staying at the Municipal Marina. My brothers, our sister-in-laws, they're all coming down. We're going to spend a few days together touring the city. We're going to tour the fort there. There is a drawbridge right before you get into St. Augustine's Municipal Marina. And if you've ever been to St. Augustine, you know it's just a wonderful city. Tons and tons of history. This is the drawbridge that we have to cross under. And as soon as you get under, you have to make a hard right or turn to starboard to pull into the marina. We make it into St. Augustine. It's about a 6-hour sail for us down the intercoastal waterway. If you've ever been to St. Augustine, you know what a wonderful city, tons of history. It is in the county seat of St. Johns County, Florida. It's about 40 miles south of downtown Jacksonville. St. Augustine is the oldest city in America. It was founded in September of 1565. Think of that. By Spanish Admiral Pedro Menendez de Aviles. He was Florida's first governor. He named the settlement because his ships bearing the settlers and troops and supplies coming over from Spain first spotted it on the feast day of St. Augustine. So that's how it gets its name. Lovely downtown, lots of historic buildings. You can still see about 30 of the original structures from the 1500s. It served as the capital of Spanish Florida for well over 200 years. Spain then ceded Florida to the United States in 1819. That's how long this has been around. If you've ever been there, you've had to have gone by the fort. We'll talk a little bit about the fort, but this is Char standing outside as we're getting ready to go into the fort to take a tour around. This is the entrance to the fort, Castillo de San Marcos. If you are a veteran, just a side note, you have to present a military ID and you get a free pass to all national parks around the country for you and 3 other guests. So if you're a veteran, that's a little tip from me to you. This is the structure, the European city of St. Augustine, founded again by Pedro Aviles, for the Spanish crown in about 1565. They recognized pretty early the need for some sort of fortification because the island and the surrounding area continued to get attacked. Sir Francis Drake and his fleet of 22 ships attacked it in 1586, and over the next 80 years, a succession of 9 wooden forts were built on this exact location. It is a masonry star fort now, made of a little stone called coquino, which is Spanish for small shells. It consists of ancient shells that have been bonded together to form this sedimentary rock similar to like a limestone. And that's what they used over the years to try to build this up, to try to give them some sort of protection from the pirates. In next week's episodes, we go through a pirate museum where you'll get to see a lot of the artifacts from the golden age of pirates that littered this shore and continue to harass and try to take over forts and ships in the harbor, all of that. It's just really an amazing place and tons of history. As you would imagine with any structure dating back to the 1500s, there have been lots of ownerships, lots of people who have laid claim to this particular area and the fort in particular. Spain gave the fort back to the U.S. in 1821. When the states received the fort back from Spain, the Americans changed the name to Fort Marion. It was named to honor General Francis Marion, an American Revolutionary War hero who had the unfortunate nickname of the Swamp Fox. Not exactly appealing, but structurally, Americans didn't do a whole lot to it during that period. Part of the moat was filled in. They brought in artillery batteries and all kinds of different stuff. This is one of the original wooden gates from the 1500s that has still survived to this day. Pretty incredible when you think of how long this has been around. October 1837, during the Second Seminole War, Seminole Chief Osceola was taken prisoner by the Americans while attending a peace conference and imprisoned here at the fort. You can see where they kept some of the stores for when the troops were in, some of the food and artillery and goods that an army needs to survive here. Again, this is coquino, which is Spanish for small shells, and that's what makes up the walls. You can see some of the carvings that some of the soldiers had put on the walls from centuries ago. Just a really unique opportunity to step back in time and see how people lived, how they worked, how difficult it was to secure all of this. There's still a bunch of cannons there that you can see. They all have very, very distinct markings. There's information on how you can read what the cannons were for and who made them and the units that they served, all of that. A stunning day, blue skies overlooking St. Augustine. Just a really nice way to spend an afternoon in a gorgeous place. Pretty windy up there that day, but gorgeous nonetheless. As I said, my brothers are coming down to see us. My brother Jerry and his wife Lucy, my sister-in-law, they got there early and they stayed at the Pirate Haus. And if you have not stayed at the Pirate Haus, you are definitely missing something. This is a family-friendly budget guest house in historic St. Augustine, Florida. Jenny runs this. It is as eclectic as these pictures make it out to be. They serve pancakes, breakfast every morning. She is fun and it is quirky. It reminds you of a guest house in Europe if you've ever traveled over there. All of the rooms are pirate themed. It is right downtown and it is just absolutely amazing. If you ever get a chance, at least stop in and look at the Pirate Haus in St. Augustine. It is gorgeous. There's a communal kitchen. Jenny makes pancakes for everybody in the morning. There's so much to see just inside this little guest house that it's really worth the visit just to stop, walk through it, say hi. But if you have an opportunity, stay there. It is very cool. Just a really, really neat, unique experience to be able to stay there. This is incredible. We love antique stuff, old maps, all of that kind of stuff. This is the Bouvier Maps and Prints. It's on Avila Street in St. Augustine, and it is eclectic and beautiful and neat. This is Nathan, the guy you see there with the little goggles on for doing close-up work. They do jewelry and maps and all kinds of really cool stuff. He's actually from Canton, Michigan, so we end up telling him about our trip and all of that kind of stuff. So cool. He and the two other shop workers were there. We're all just kind of chit-chatting. We talk about Petoskey stones and Leland blue and fluorite. He told us about surfite stones, which are similar to fluorite, which fluorite is the stone kind of stuff that they in the Ford plants when they would overspray vehicles. This is the paint that would stick and they would make jewelry out of it. So we're taking pictures, we're walking around, there's so much to see and do. It's just a really cool store. We just really enjoyed it. So we get outside, we're taking a couple of pictures. Nathan comes walking out and he's going to show us a map that we think is just incredibly cool. It's a map of New York Harbor from 1863. We were telling him as we're coming down the Hudson River, we passed by the Statue of Liberty, but we're just kind of telling him our story a little bit. He shows us this map and says to us, hey, I want you to have this to remember your trip, because I think it's pretty incredible that you got all the way here from Michigan, and I want you to have this. It's an antique map from 1863 of the New York Harbor. Nathan could not have been nicer or cooler. What a great experience. Just one of the really cool things that we've got to do. Some of the great people that we've met along the way has just made this trip so special for us. We finished the night off having dinner at a place called O.C. White's. It's historic. The food is great. The atmosphere is good. We're on such a high from Nathan gifting us this antique map. That's my brother Jerry and sister-in-law Lucy and Chara, of course. Just a great way to wrap up the night. Just really cool. We're so grateful to be out here. Next week, we're going to be in St. Augustine again. We're going to show you one of two Jolly Rogers maps still in existence. And my brother Tim and his wife Angie stop down, and we spend the day with them. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.